I lived in a household where one Christmas when I had to be about maybe 7 or 8 years old, I come downstairs, sneaking downstairs. Matter of fact, Sean and Toe right behind me, come downstairs and go down to the recreation, to the basement where the Christmas tree was. The front door is sitting wide open.
Mm-hmm.
I come downstairs and I stop, Sean stops behind me, and the front door, you see footprints coming in the house.
Okay.
My first thought was Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sneak downstairs, yeah. I mean, this even understanding that I know I don't have a fireplace, I know I don't have a chimney, so the idea of the sled landing on the roof and somebody sneaking down through the fireplace to leave the gifts existed. But I rationalized saying, man, I see the stuff coming through the front door. I see snow prints in the house. We follow around, go through the living room, dining room, through the kitchen, go downstairs. Not through the kitchen, we go downstairs. And at the foot of the steps, there's a couch similar to this. And there's 2 feet laying up on the edge of the couch. Snow all over the bottom of the shoes. In my mind, Santa Claus is there.
Mm-hmm. Chilling on the couch.
Yeah, because all I see is when I get to the bottom of the steps and I'm peeking around the corner looking where the tree was, I see feet. I'm thinking Santa Claus. I'm thinking Santa Claus is in my house.
Santa Claus was there.
No, Santa Claus wasn't there.
Sure it was.
No, Santa Claus wasn't there. No, there wasn't Santa Claus there.
Was it Uncle Tom?
No, it wasn't him either.
Guess who it was?
Guess who it was? Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul.
Oh, it was Uncle Paul.
See, I think we go about
Uncle Paul had a few. He came in,
the
left the
point
plane.
is this.
No. Let me make this short. The point is this.
What?
It was Uncle Paul. He had a few too many.
Uncle Paul.
He passed out.
It's the third brother.
Well, passed out, let the front door open, came in the house, left the front door open, passed out downstairs on the couch.
Okay.
Now, it wasn't until the next day that I realized it was Uncle Paul. But in my mind's eye, that was Santa, right? But even though I was going to accept the lie, I wanted that lie to be true, even though I knew it was a lie. And I knew it was a lie before the event even took place.
A lot of kids still do that to this
And,
day.
wait a minute. That's a part of how we as people rationalize.
But is it a lie or is it a thing about?
No, it is a lie, brother.
It's about being a child because again,
brother,
it's the same background you have. And guess what? My dad dressed up as Santa Claus. But guess what? He let me be a child.
No,
and then
it's imagination.
Hold on.
It's not about
It's
that.
that. But when I got old enough to where I could understand and respect the hard work he put into as a father and get the things that we wanted for Christmas, that's when he sat down with me and explained and educated me the right way and said, okay, well, guess what? There really is no Santa Claus. Now, if you don't take that time as a parent to now go back and say, well, look, you know what? This is what Christmas is about. This is why we use Santa Claus or whatever. Then yes, you are telling your child a lie. But to take away,
Your father said that to you?
huh?
How did you feel when your father said
I was old enough to understand.
that? How did you feel?
I was okay with it.
I'll tell you how I felt.
How old?
I'll tell you how I felt, Joe.
I tell you what, me as a parent, I'll never do it again. If I ever had another
Sean, wait a
child,
minute.
No.
Oh, wait a minute.
But he did.
Okay,
He let me be a child.
Sean,
He let me be a child.
Hey,
He loved me.
JD.
Your Uncle Sam loved me enough that he was willing to bring those gifts and took joy in the happiness that he gave us without him getting credit. That's how much he loved us.
Right, okay.
And that's the way he explained it.
Now look at who got credit for it.
the white man.
The white man.
It's not racial children.
It is racist. Why a fat black man can't bring me my gifts? Dressed in all green. Dreadlocks.
Hold up.
But that's the insecurity.
Me as a man, I wouldn't do it again. If I ever have another child, no. Santa Claus might go to their house, but daddy do it in this house.
My father
That's how I do
said, I'm your
that.
Santa
I won't
Claus.
do that.
Thank you.
He
I
said
didn't-
it all the
Hold
time.
on.
I'm your Santa Claus.
That means you're uncomfortable with the fact that
Wait a minute.
you have done something and need the pat on the shoulder.
No, what that showed me was that I don't give credit to white people.
Give credit with credit
JD.
too, and let.
Jay, you know what? This is a losing battle with them two, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's going to
Wait,
be
but what about the
okay?
stuff?
Wait, so we're going to go to the next subject, all
Tell you why
right?
it's not.
It's a losing battle,
I
JD.
understand.
But let's move to something more important, all right? Let's move to something more important than Santa Claus, all
I'm
right?
disturbed. I'm very disturbed. I get the Santa Claus thing, and I hear both points of views. But real quick, I was poor, so we was good and we didn't get nothing, so it was kind of disillusioned when you pour and don't get nothing for Christmas. But how do we skip over the most successful person in this room saying he should be black?
No, wait. That's why I said more important time. Wait a minute.
Why
Hold on, wait.
are we
Santana.
delving into this?
No, you're not. Hold on, Santana. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. No. That's why I said.
We don't get back to you, bro. Santa Claus is black.
That's why
You were now a target, bro.
You gotta bring us back. You gotta ask about that.
You target now.
All right.
That did move me though when he said that.
And I hurt my feelings.
Right.
I hurt my feelings because, brother, we love what I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, and here's the thing, and to be completely honest about it, I practiced what I was going to say to you. I did. I did. I'm so excited.
See,
Say it, man.
thoughts.
Here's the thing. It's like this. This gentleman has taken something, a weakness, and turned it into strength. And he's done what, by definition, society says to do to become successful. But it's unfortunate that we've told you that in order for you to be likable or lovable or important, that you got to have these things. And that's the part that's missing. It's terrible that you felt that way, and the embarrassment you felt as a black man. To understand that the embarrassment that you feel, I get that. And when I say I get that, when I go, I work in the prison systems, and I walk every day, and when I'm around my white colleagues, and niggas is coming, black men are coming to me, acting a fool around me, and they looking at me like, Santana, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna do the same thing you're gonna do. I don't know this guy, but then I get that. But at the same time, we can't look so far, we can't turn our backs because too far. I agree, we can't hold everybody's hand. But what I want you to understand is you were blessed with a brilliant mind. And no matter how hard a person tries or goes to school, you're not going to find too many people who try hard every day that's going to have a mind as brilliant as yours. So it's your responsibility to try to help the other one. We got Tim over here. Tim is blessed with metabolism. No matter how hard this brother, no, seriously, no matter how hard this brother eats and works out and trains, he will never have the metabolism of Tim. But he has to work harder. It's a certain thing. Not many people are ever going to get what you have.
Right.
And that's what you got to remember. Take a look
From where you came from.
Exactly.
We got that from where you came from.
Get your picture.
Had you grew up another way, you might not even be here today if you had you not come from that. You feel what I'm saying? So
Because
it's your grassroots, man.
Okay, look at that picture. You said that your mom made you feel like home. Like whole picture. Hold up, turn around. That the man in that picture was
like I'm in AA or something, man.
black,
You need to do, bro.
fat, ugly, whatever the case may be, for whatever reason. And why she told you that, I have no idea. I can't.
She didn't say it, but it was
Okay, but that's the way
That's how you took it.
And unfortunately,
protect.
fortunately enough, you got past that. And for reasons for her bringing down your self-esteem, I don't know, but whatever.
I don't think it's self-esteem.
But the thing about it, bro,
Definitely
is that
self-esteem.
But what you need to look deep into that picture is that you see a young black man who obviously is healthy because you're eating.
Right.
You got food on your table. You're able to sit in a house. You got lights on, and you have a roof over your
Take
head.
that picture.
So, bro, that's not poverty right there. You're blessed, bro. But by being blessed and having those things, which means that you also had opportunity, And again, look at the picture for what it is. You have a roof over your head, you have food on your table, and you got lights on. That is a picture of opportunity, bro. You have opportunity.
And Jay's a model, so he can show you
Black man, right. He said he can change that. If he can change it, he can change it.
Wait a minute. Hold on, a couple things. All right, Brian.
I don't think he meant that. I'm just gonna say I don't think he meant it.
All right,
Maybe
Brian.
not in that.
Yeah, right.
It
Okay.
came across
Right.
Brian said what he meant. All right. And he said what he meant. All right. And
I tried to get you out.
That's a lie. Where it is.
it's the truth. All right, it's about over here. We have thick skin here, okay? All right. That was probably one of the greatest mistakes that your mom made. And I know I'm going to since right. Wait a minute. It's not. Wait a minute.
That goes back.
No, wait a minute. That was somewhere along the line. the insecurities within your mom and her upbringing, whatever they may be, she transferred them upon you. Because when I look at that picture right there, all right, what I see right there, I see that as a man that's a little bit big, but I also see that was a part of laziness from a parent. Because parents are responsible for the things we eat from our kids. All right, there was whether or not your mother worked a lot of hours or days, whatever. It was her responsibility to give you nurturements and stuff, to get you the right exercise diet, whatever, for you to be that slim or not slim, but or not.
But Martin, don't put it all on his mom.
No, I'm going women. Wait a minute. And when you say you don't be black, okay? You live in this row right here with the NFL football players, the NFL players, and the U.S. Center right here, okay? Brian, the older we get, our life lessons become harder. You agree, okay? So the older you get, you need the only thing that's going to change your mind, you need circumstance, okay, to remind you that you're African American. Because it will take one incident, okay? All right? The only reason why you're on this block is not because of your brains, okay? It's because of your money, okay? That's it, okay? That is it. They don't give a damn about your skin color or anything. It's a club mentality. And once that membership card get pulled, okay, you are no longer second. Your neighbors and stuff, you go to your community centers with, whatever, you'll speak to Susie and the Jewish people, whatever. The minute you make a mistake, okay, if you have that one Jewish woman make one allegation against you, brother, and your life is changed. Yeah. Those government contracts you get from Booz Allen, they got a whiff of any type of accusation, because in the black community, you know you're not considering yourself black, and accusation is guilt in the black community. All right? Say again?
Put a red, black, green flag.
Yeah, exactly, okay? So unfortunately, we can give you all the advice we can give you, but only circumstances are going to change your mentality, your mind thought. Now the consequence is, the older you get, your consequences will be much harder. Because a child's mistake at 20 is different than somebody 30 and 40. So the older you get and don't have that circumstances, but circumstance will give you the reality of who you are. I think I told you at the first meeting you was at. I said there's two things that white people will always do, all right? Or other, and I don't want to make it seem like white people. It could be Asians or
teach on white people,
okay?
man.
It was white high.
Go teach on white people.
All right. White people will teach you two things. They will always remind you that they're white, and they will remind you that you're black. Okay?
Teach, brother.
Right, there's only two things, okay?
That's right.
So, again, the success, the millions of dollars, you know what? I think you should have the biggest house in the block. And if you have the education flaunted, buy the biggest house in the block. I love it. You understand me? I love to spend the money and buy. It's just you got to do the thing. You understand me? Just do it. But just remind yourself that there's no other culture that would trade themselves to other than what they are. Asians, they would never say they want to be white. Latinas, they would never say they want. I may be using the wrong word with Latina, but you get what I'm saying. They would never say they want to be white. A white person sure ain't gonna tell you they want to be black. Okay?
Oh, so yes, they
no.
do.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, that's why we got tanning salons.
Wait, no.
Talk about
They don't want to be
when I mean black,
they ain't saying it, but they saying
when
it.
I mean black, when you become black, you take on the whole suffrage of black.
Talk,
Alright? We're not talking about blackness about skin color. We're talking about, okay, you have people go suntan, they want to be darker, they want a certain complexion to match your outfit. Or to look good for a mile or something. But when you want to be black, you got to take on the whole identity of what it is to be black. That means the discrimination, the opportunities you won't get, the whole kit and caboodle. We see it every day on TV. On TV in our communities.
I think the perspective of what you want to.
About identity crisis.
No. I think you understood. Well, see, what I'm saying is sometimes, and maybe I think it came across too sharp because it kind of like when we had the conversation about the image of like we talked about brothers and getting jobs, and to make the only way I know, I only know my industry, but the only way I know to make big money is to have that perfect image. You got to speak well. Everything
professionalism.
Your teeth,
it's not professionalism. Is not cultural.
Your entire
professionalism
image.
is what it is. It's not
cultural.
cultural.
You have to have no, and the way, and subconsciously, I have taught myself. And then
but you have to be white to be professional.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
You're pretty light. I ain't saying them, but I mean, it's there. I read a lot of books on the effect of your skin color on careers and things like that, income and things like that. So those are things. So when I'm as a young person, 18, 19 years old, I'm thinking, how do I get to this 7-figure mark? How do I get how do I get to 6? How do I get to 7? How do I get to 8?
So,
you know what I mean?
Does something snap and say be white?
No, some, but I that's
But I understand.
I had
Black
to make it
skin.
appear that I'm a try. You almost.
It's certainly easy.
Trying to explain and tell somebody that
It's a
you came
perception.
from a hood or.
The perception is.
I mean, the perception of that is that eventually he's gonna get arrested, or eventually he's gonna have this, or and eventually, I mean, and a lot of times it's not like it's the perception isn't false.
I know. I go on interviews and again because my name. Okay, how many black guys you know named Jock?
5.
Shut up. And so anyway,
I mean,
and go on interviews
I can swing it.
and yeah, and had the employer interviewer slip up and was like, "Oh, what? You're black." And my response to him was like, okay, was that the appropriate response? I mean, did it matter? But the assumption is that, right, when you walk into a room, whether it be an employer or whatever, yes, they are going to judge you off the back by what you look like. It doesn't even matter.
Sometimes
But
being black is
I never got to my whole point was that I feel like my absolute point was the reason why I say and this comes from, like I said, really a lot of it's not now I can you can enjoy being black because you can be among the black elite.
No, you
But
can't.
when you're younger,
Who can? You say
when
you can?
I feel like I enjoy it. I can embrace it more. When
Why?
I was younger,
Why?
I felt like it was one of the biggest things that hindered me.
Why
When
do
I
you
was
wait?
If you didn't have all this,
Look,
if you didn't have all this, would you if you didn't have all this at this point, would you feel like you can
It doesn't matter. If I didn't have this, I'd have something else. I mean, if I didn't
have this.
This is. I bought this house when I was 24 years old. I mean, this is to me. This
But is your happiness of being black based
It's
upon
not
what you
big.
required when you're
The
already?
house means nothing to me.
What is it that makes you say I can enjoy being black now?
What I'm saying is, when I was young, I always felt like when I would go on interviews to be an 18-year-old, or even a lot of time, I started working in 18, 19, trying to say, hey, I want to make X amount. I worked for EDS when I was 19, and I was a network engineer, and I knew, but I studied and studied and studied. I had like 18 certs, and within like a 2-year period of time, and I wanted to make $100,000, and they said $100,000, and the guy was like, how old are you? And I said, I knew from studying HR books, well, that's not a legitimate question you can ask in an interview.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's illegal.
That's like it's illegal.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. Yeah.
Anyway, I started working at ADS. They paid me. I remember they gave me $125,000. I still have the offer letter in my office. $125,000 in 2001. I was about 20 years old. One of my first well over $100,000 mark. But I knew that I've seen other white Indian dudes that get $100,000 jobs, 100 something, and they're like 21, 22. They come straight up. A lot of times they already have. I didn't have a degree. A lot of things I didn't have in place, but I had like I said, I had the one thing I got, God given with my brain, and I think extremely quick. You know what I mean?
So you're 20 years old with a $120,000 contract, yet you are questioning your blackness.
But the thing was, at that moment, to me, that was one of the biggest things I always, because that wasn't the first job interview I went on. I went to rape.
But look, let me ask you right now.
All of them saying,
For you to
they all was, I know they all
questioning
questioning
your
this
blackness.
little Negro that think he's slick. You know what I mean? He's trying to skip through the normal ranks of.
What are they looking at you?
You're qualified to do the
Wait a
job.
minute. Answer the question. What is it now when you made that statement that I feel comfortable in? What is it now that allows you to feel like that?
I guess I had to grow into my own skin.
Which means
But you're not your own skin. You're not black.
Well, wait a minute.
Let me say something real quick.
You just
Let me say something real quick. So you really stay in the house?
Hold on 1 second. Let this brother, here's the spoken.
Okay.
Serious? Yeah, because
I'm from San Diego, California. The population of black is
Good God,
6.67.
Yeah.
that's a racist
So-
city you from, bro.
The only right. So listen. I'm assuming what you meant by you wish you were white is because you were talking about from the perspective of the mental oppression.
Or I think it would have just been.
And hold on. My mom and dad are from Florida. If I did not have the foundation, and I'm gonna get somewhere. If I did not have the foundation at home with my dad, because my mom, she passed away already, I would have grown up feeling that in your exact same mindset, if that makes any sense. It doesn't matter where you live, but I'm just saying the different experiences.
Well, I grew up in the projects. We're all black people. So
Okay. But I did not. Let me tell you something. I did not. I went to a predominantly white school. Elementary school, middle school, and even high school. Less than 20%. So, if it wasn't for, and I know what prejudice is, just in not in regards to skin color, but in the various ways. But the mental oppression, the subliminal messages that are taught through the television, advertisements, just everything. You don't think it affects you.
General conversation.
And that too. And they do it subtly.
Exactly. I agree. And
you
I
know,
read into stuff more than most people do. I analyze things.
You're probably
And unfortunately, especially in San Diego,
Right, too smart.
the majority of successful, especially successful black men, they wish they were white.
That's right.
That's because in order for me to actually grow, and I'm 32, I had to leave that. I moved to the East Coast for a culture shock because I needed it. Okay? California, I don't give a fuck, excuse me, I don't care if you live in San Diego, LA, or San Diego. California is a place that definitely leads Black History Month because they don't teach you shit.
That's right. You in San Diego, that's one of the, I was stationed in Camp Pendleton. That's
Prejudice there is so thick, you feel it in the atmosphere. You can cut it with a knife.
About black people.
I think that
And
Brian
that's why
will
it's
get
the
it.
shortest month of the year.
I think over time Brian will get. I think Brian has an identity crisis that's going on, and
But
he'll
look,
get it over time.
I'm still not done yet. Even if he were to experience what you were talking about, the fact that he's the age that he is and everything like that, actually he might wish, damn, I wish I was white.
But see,
It's not going to make him
At this point,
not to
But
human.
no, but the issue
Right.
is
human first.
Right.
That's
But
who
what
I
I'm
am.
saying
I don't
is-
care.
but you
The
spent,
skin color, my skin
but
color
you spent
doesn't
more
matter.
time trying to justify and
You said a key thing that started
and
this.
make
So I'm just
excuses
commenting.
as to why you're a successful black man, rather than embellishing in the reality that you are a successful black man.
But that's the part I want to get away from. I'm a successful human, and I'm not that successful. I mean, I measure myself against Bill Gates and Donald Trump.
But you shouldn't have. But why say yourself so high though? And see, and that's your fault.
If I set the bar real
You
high,
are and will always be a successful human. But even if they don't show you in front of your face, they will think it. And they will tell you and let you know.
You got 15 minutes. What happened? You gonna walk out of here wishing like, damn, I wish it was Brian? Fuck no. Excuse me again, sorry. Why? Because of the fact that no one is unsatisfied with who they are.
Did they gotta be black?
No, I got a question. Did something happen? Like, we have an event that, like, that's something, did we have an event?
This has grown over a year,
I know
and I explained last. I mean, I explained last. I mean, I told you. I mean, my mom. Mom
It would be easier if he was white. Some people, and there's different types of
But
people.
it's
That's
Some-
exactly
some-
that's
some
all I
people-
was trying to
some
explain.
people like to
That's
achieve.
all I'm trying to explain.
Some
It
people
would
like
have
to
been easy.
achieve. Okay, through hard work, and I took my hits, I kept going. You pledge or do whatever it is you do to get to what you want through your goals. Some people would rather skate.
But
some
the ease,
people
but the
not
ease
like
comes, hold on a second,
to
but the ease
go
comes
rough
from not
road.
feeling like you have to
He'd
defend.
rather take it on. He thinks it's easy.
Because you know why it's easy for him?
It
Because
would
he
be.
feels like he's constantly having to defend.
Is that true though?
defend
Is it
himself.
easier? Would it be
No,
easier if it
hold
was
on.
white?
Hold on.
I
No,
think it
it wouldn't be easy. Are you embarrassed? No,
If
it's
I
not
can
easy.
take my brain and take it and put it into
It's not easy.
a white,
It's easy. It's not
blonde
that
hair,
it's
blue
not
eyed
easy.
body,
It's that
I'd
you
be
are
a
making it
millionaire.
hard. You make it hard.
Listen to him.
No question.
What?
I said if I could take my brain and put it into a blonde hair, blue eyed, thin, tall white guy, I know I'd be a billionaire.
Well,
But
why
you
you think that?
on your way already, brother.
We just scraping the bottom.
Brother, you know,
I don't think if you come from your background, it would be where you are today. Like,
So I think
your
that Brian.
background is what got you here. What you went through is what got you here.
I think
It
that
ain't
Brian.
because you was
Hold
black
on,
and
one at a
white.
time, one at a time.
You know what I mean? I really think it's because of what you went through.
So you don't think it made it easier if you was
No,
black?
you might not even be as successful.
Cause you was white, you wouldn't have your mama.
You might not even
You
be
know,
as
you
successful
just
as what
don't
I'm
have
Vice versa.
We can't agree that his point is valid,
if he were white, it
Not
would be
necessarily.
easier.
No, it's
In
valid.
America.
You will never get a chance.
No one's saying that.
Wait a minute, let's all take a poll. Let's take a poll. All right, all the agree with Brian. If it would be easier if we were white to get through in America. Raise your hand.
Amen.
What you mean? Well, I mean,
I just got a job in 2013 because I was black.
Hold on.
So
But
I
yeah, the
understand.
times have changed.
That's not the point.
All
The point
he's
is
saying
that
is that it would be easier.
of course it would be easy.
What makes it
But that's not the point.
Because it's weird.
Because
You know the majority of black people in America are white.
That's
The
what
majority of poor people in America.
The majority of rich people.
Brian, when you on your deathbed, hey Brian,
So when
when you on your deathbed,
Wait, hold on. One at a time.
when you on your deathbed and you looking over your life and you looking at all your accomplishments, I promise you that you're not gonna be talking about the easy things. You're gonna be talking about, you can be most proud of the hard things. That's why you hear dudes who go to jail who come out and tell you, I've been in jail for 10 years. And people are like, why are you proud of that? They're not proud of being in prison. It was proud because they made it through something. But the thing that's going to make you, well, I'm just giving you this example.
I don't think that's not.
And it's
For me, that's not.
we
I
all-
mean,
it's
I
not
know
that,
some
not
stuff
that.
I would never tell nobody.
But we always
saying
the
in the
hard
process
things
of
is going to make
maturing.
you. Because the hardest things make you. You take
Some things you just
type
keep it right here. You keep it. I
But
keep
we
it
all
right here.
understand. Hold on. We all understand the fact that we
you know
are.
what? I think that this is an issue that needs to go to Oprah's couch with him. All right. I think we probably move to another subject because it's.
But
it's
you do know if you Google it, Oprah said the same thing.
But that's fine. I don't want to get Oprah now. But I think we should move to.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Oprah had said at one point that she would she white. She had said
You can't-
But
but
she
the
said
problem
she
is
was sick at
this.
the time, though. But at that time, she said she was sick, and she was in the abuse she was in her mindset. She was white, but she also looked at him and said that it was a mistake, and she realized that she was being subjected to these things to feel a particular way about herself. So she looked at that and saw the problem in that. And listen, I get it. I know sometimes it's embarrassing when you that black in the room. And like I was the only black kid in my school. I was the only black kid, and for Black History Month, they would show pictures of people with bones in their nose walking around butt naked in Africa.
Yeah.
That was Black History Month in my school, the only black kid. That was embarrassing.
And bro, guess
So
what?
I get that.
There is a white Oprah. Her name is Barbara Walters, bro.
I get that. But I mean,
The last two that are gonna comment on this, Sam and then.
Me.
nah. So you
Close out every.
I will ask you something.
Very, very brief. I appreciate your willingness to be as candid
Yeah,
as you are.
yeah.
And I accept the fact that there's plenty of racism enough to go around. That all of us should certainly feel that it would be easier to be white. Where my concern and my prayer for you is this, that just because it would be easier to be white doesn't mean that you have to embrace that by saying that you would rather. I think that's where the big reaction came from.
So maybe I should
you said it, man.
Okay, now let me just say this. And I want to, you're not leaving. Okay, good. Brother, one thing I listen to you, and one thing I'm concerned about, and I'm kind of concerned about your generation really, is that you equated success with dollars and income. And I hope, brother, I hope that as time goes, you begin to see beyond that.
I never used it, but I didn't use it.
Well, when you kept saying,
I don't consider myself successful at all.
when I asked you 3 times, and you immediately went to the time you were 21, you were trying to make 100,000, and I've heard you say that. Now, maybe I hope I'm wrong with that. I really do, but let me just say
That was
this
my goal
because
at the time.
I think that we equate success with that. Now, I learned this lesson when I was maybe a little younger than you. I used to work at a Hyatt Regency hotel. And at that time, that was a 4-star hotel in D.C. And all the performers, everybody you name used to come in that hotel. And I was a bellman, so I used to take them up to their room. I used to notice that all of these quote-unquote performers, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, these guys, when I had a chance just to look at them, I would bring them in and sit them down in the room while I took their stuff. I would watch them. They never seemed to be happy. They never seemed to be happy and content. Just the air. And I asked Richard Pryor this question. I said, man, what's it like to be, in your situation, man? Because he had just come back from Africa. He was on his way down to do that Richard Pryor Here and Now down in Louisiana. He stayed with us a week. He said, brother, let me say this to you. He said, if I knew what I had to give up to get this, I never would have done it. So I stopped and said, what do you mean? He said, man, you walk, and I had his cart outside of the room. The cart we had his clothes hanging on. And there were people walking by. I had the door open, but I had it so they couldn't look in. He said, man, you walk out that room and go down to that elevator. Anybody that you see that doesn't know you, you could tell whether they like you or not just by how they treat you. He said, man, for the rest of my life, I'll never know what it's like and whether to be a regular person again, because I don't know whether people accept me for being Richard Pryor, the entertainer, versus Richard Pryor, the personality. Even my own family members. I said, and I thought about it, I kept doing it, and then he said, that's why Michael Jackson's a freak of the planet. And I stopped and turned around and looked back at him. I said, what do you mean? He said, that boy's never known what it's like to be a regular human being. Every time, all his life, he's been in front of people and been quote unquote a personality. And he said, and I never forgot that, because if you look at society, brother, look at society today. Maybe 20 years ago, that would have been a good way of measuring quote-unquote successful lifestyles. But if you look at the people who have stuff now, look how many people are really happy, man. Look how many people live a contentful life. In terms of black people, why do they use so much substance abuse? Why do they do the type of behaviors they do? And what do you have to do to get there, see? And I want to ask you this question, and I don't want you to answer me, you answer to yourself. In order for you to quote-unquote become successful, what do you sacrifice of yourself? And are you successful with a fat bank account, or are you successful being a person, a man, that stood on morals and principles and did not sell yourself out to somebody else? That's to me, look, I'm 55 now. I made a decision about 6 months ago to cost me my job, but I do not regret the decision I made because I did it on principle. I was not going to let anybody disrespect me. And what I did in terms of, I was in management, I did something that you never do in management because you're not quote-unquote covered or protected by a union. I don't give a damn. Nobody's going to disrespect me, and I'm going to speak truth. And I believe in a God that's going to protect me. And at least I'll go through some trials, but I'll get up there. That may come to you, man, but after a certain period of time, man, the money's going to come and go. You're in a society now where money's actually going. They're losing it. So just throw that out there, man.
I don't use money as a, because I mean, money, I mean, I do.
We all do.
Everybody I look at, to me, the biggest success is the fact that, you know, when people do call me, and because as a child, I never felt smart. And I always felt like I was like I said, big guy. You're always the last one to get picked for dodgeball. You're always the last one to get, you know, I remember going to the gym many days, and we would be playing softball. It was only an hour, and they never get around to me. And I'm waiting, and I know I'm the strongest kid. I'm the strongest, probably the fastest. But I never got to my name. Years going through that. Wow. I mean, and that stuff still sits in my head.
They're prepared for this.
But I mean, so it almost made me want to cry because I can still remember third grade, fourth grade, sixth grade. But what I learned to do was always be the best.
That's not because you're black, though. That's not because you're black. If you was an Asian guy when you said 350 pounds, it'd be the same thing.
Hey, we're gonna wrap this up. Last one, Uncle Brett, and we're gonna move on.
This goes back to the original question about black history.
Right.
Kind of bringing it back, I guess, a little bit. The reality that I heard listening here is that this typifies why you do need to have Black History Month. Because folks have lost sight of where they come from.
Right.
The reality of this is that, brother, the values that you may or may not have, you know, as relates to how you proportion yourself or relate yourself to your world, you know, that's personal, that's all on you. I'll say this and get off for a second, because I just thought about this a few minutes ago. You talked about the streets that you lived on, right? Well, Sean and I, we came in, we made a left-hand turn. What's the name? This is
Glenbrook.
Glenbrook? Well, this side of Glenbrook is a hell of a lot different than the left side of Glenbrook.
I'm telling you.
But it's the exact same street.
That's actually the black side.
No, that's all I saw was white. All I saw was white people on that side. It may be the black
If you go across the
side.
train track,
I just say
the black side.
when
That's the black side
we went
over
across
the
the train
That's
track.
where I
always-
was.
We went across the train track all with the
That's
right
a
to
subsidized
road.
house
And
in
the first
the
folks,
fourth
the
floor.
first and only people we saw were white folks stepping out of their house almost onto the street.
No,
In
it's
fact,
an older
the
house.
comment that I made was, this reminds me when I lived in Baltimore, hanging around, going out with some friends of mine that drove around the areas of Baltimore to show you where the white folks lived and how bad they were. And it put it in perspective that black folks who thought they were living bad life really weren't that bad. So we saw cows out here. We just saw some cows in the backyard. You ain't that far from the bad neighborhood. You know, you just a stone's throw away. But that is a matter of perspective.
They just refuse to move.
Whatever. All I'm saying, brother, all I'm saying is, it's a short trip.
Yeah, we way far from
It's a short trip from the penthouse to the basement. It's a very short trip. It doesn't take long. The things that we have no control over. But as far as Black History Month is concerned, there is a reason that we need to have it, if for no other than for the generation that follows behind us. Because if you don't know it to teach it, how do they know it? There was a question that was posed earlier before we started this about Jesse Jackson's son and why he would do what he did. I believe a lot of that has to do with the lost perspective of the prices that were paid through understanding history of why you need to value, why you need to struggle. Sometimes things come a little hard for you because there's a purpose for it. You strengthen steel with steel. I know you did. Yeah, I picked up on that.
Marvin.
It's extremely important that you do struggle because of this. I think Sean said in one of the first sessions that we had about the birthing process. The hardest thing you'll ever do in your life is to be you. There's a reason for that. If in fact your life is too soft, too comfortable, maybe you're not going to be all that you can be. This process that each one of us goes through, because everybody's got their own trials and tribulations, it's tough. It's supposed to be tough. It's not supposed to be easy. But it develops the type of person that you end up being. If things are too easy, how hard or how strong are you going to be? And what will you produce? If our kids going to overcome this madness of racism and this insanity that we still dealing with, maybe not the same degree that we have to, but that's based on what we do. If in fact we do what we're supposed to do, pass on a legacy that does not exclude finances, but more importantly includes character, we won't have to go through some of this stuff. Maybe. I don't know, but the reality of this is that, brother, this is not going to change. If in fact we lose things like Black History Month, it's not going to change if we place more value on the dollar versus on character as a whole. We got to stand up being men. One of the reasons that I embraced doing this was the idea of having a dialogue between the young and the old. Because I know from my perspective, I have a curiosity, because I swear, some things that I see young folks do, I don't understand. And I wanted to hear from your perspective, why do you do what you do?
That's why I drive to work.
Yeah, I respect that. I appreciate that.
It's 2 hours.
Because I know that Sam's going to bring something to the table. There's two gentlemen I wanted to invite, but they weren't able to make it this time. But these are older gentlemen too. I want them to come and listen to you too, but at the same time, I want you all to listen to them also. There's a perspective that you guys need to have that you don't have. The fact that you say,
just hearing myself, I mean, I told Mama it was the way some of listen. I never even talk about the dog stuff like that. I try not to say because again, I hate to always sound weak. You know what I mean? And to me, those are some of the horror stories. It affected me as a child. I had nightmares. I used to, the dodgeball, literally something like that. Dang, they'd be like, what's the point of him playing his big tail playing dodgeball? Everybody gonna hit him. You know what I mean? It's like, why pick him?
I was the best at dodgeball. I was a big boy. I liked it, man. Now growing up now, like being who I am now, like it gives me my personality. It makes me who I am. I was an athlete. I was a big athlete. I could move. I was agile. I was quick. And I didn't have too many problems coming through school. You might say what you want to say, but you're not gonna put your hands on me. And you're going to think twice. Right, you're going to think twice. You're going to think twice. You know what I mean? But it made me an athlete. I was an excellent football player, excellent basketball player. I could ride bike. Looking back now, yeah, when I was younger, yeah, I used to think about it. I'm fat. But I was good at everything that I did. So it evened out. it really
Let me
even
ask you
helped.
something. Now that you where you are in your life, those experiences, how do you translate that to how you treat other people?
I am very, very, very lenient. Like,
Are you conscious of it?
yeah. Sometimes it gets to the point where as though, like, for instance, I do security. So when I do security, I don't know why these two people over here fighting. Now I got people that I work with that go just jump on them and start fighting them back. No, because I don't know why he's attacking him. He could have did something to his mother or whatever. I break it up, take him go his way, tell him go his way, and go about it that way. And my background or what I'm coming up with from my family or friends, this is my cousin. He done watched me grow up from a baby. If I smack somebody, he gonna smack him, regardless, because he know my demeanor. He had to do something to him. He was wrong. I'm not a bully. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like JD, we've hung out before. Like he pretty much know my personality. I don't walk around like I'm big, bad, and tough. I wish you would. No, people like that they tell stories about. I wouldn't be here to sit here and tell you about me growing up as a kid, because somebody would have been blowing my head off.
So
you know what I mean? So
your previous experiences help make you
who I am today.
man you are and the kind of character you have.
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. And with any of my friends, just to sum it up, like I could do security in a venue with 200, 300, 400 people by myself. If I got to get involved in something, friends and people that know who I am gonna come help me. You know what I mean? I go stand right here in Gwenbrook for a half an hour. I'll have a ride out of here, and that go for anywhere in Baltimore metropolitan area. Even some spots in D.C., New York, New Jersey, just because of who I am. I don't want to get off the topic, but it really made me who I am to this day, and I'm not ashamed of anything.
Well, no, that bad.
No, not at all. Not now.
In perspective.
Not now, but growing up with the white kids and the skinny kids and the people with the nice hair and all that other stuff, I know exactly what he's talking about. But nah, it didn't stop me from doing anything that I ever wanted to do.
We all can look back and see myself.
He was more aware.
Hey, Tim.
He was so smart. Him being smart hurt him.
All right.
Because he knew it.
Let me ask you this question, the significance of black history for today. If we knew black history, we would not have been excited over Obama being president because we would have known he wasn't the first black president.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Articles of Federation.
Yeah.
What's the guy named?
John Henson.
We would not be so spooky about Jesus.
He's not the first president. He's not the first black president, right?
Yeah, we would not be so spooky about it. We would have known that Jesus was a black man.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, no,
If you read the text, if you read the text,
Everybody
Well,
knows Jesus is a black man.
No,
He was the first black president of the United States of America.
no,
Yes.
no.
All right, we know.
Yeah,
Abraham
we have to get
Lincoln.
the